They talk about Toni Morrison. They talk about culture. They talk about race. They talk about immigration. The people we just saw from Pennsylvania and the other states that we were talking about, they have on their mind something different that's never addressed. They want people to talk about child care, about child tax credits, about better schools. But the Republicans don't talk about those things, but it doesn't matter because they have culture in their grips. And culture is strangling this country in a sense. It's just, and the bottom line, Joe, is, you know this, if you go around, one of the biggest issues confronting people today are three simple things: the cost of gas, bread, milk, things like that. And the fact that they look to Washington, and what do they see? They see chaos, nothing getting done. And that's beyond party. That's incompetence.
Well, so much of it also has to do, as you said, with culture. You know, Jonathan Lemire, the famous 1992 sign up in Clinton campaign headquarters, "It's the economy, stupid." Well, right now, a macro look at the polls would suggest it's COVID, stupid. But you really cut down, you go in deep, you try to figure out what drives a lot of these voters to vote for Donald Trump, that economically are disadvantaged by his policies. It's the culture, stupid. You keep hearing about abortion because in Republican politics, not only has conservatism been reduced to one issue, but in evangelical Christianity, it's been reduced, it seems, when you're talking politics, to one issue, and that's abortion, which is very interesting because, of course, that's something that has changed through the years. It certainly didn't come from the New Testament, didn't come from the red letters in the New Testament, didn't come from Jesus. If you look at the history of the evangelical church, they weren't stridently anti-abortion. But it has been used by the Republican Party as a political hammer. They've used it effectively. And now people have not only reduced their politics down to one or two issues, they've reduced their religion down to one or two issues. It's very crude. It's a very crude reductionism of Christianity. It's really blasphemous. But that's politically what Democrats and Republicans are facing on the campaign trail.
Republicans' increased focus on culture predates Donald Trump, but he certainly has accelerated it with his attacks on political correctness, his culture of grievance here that plays into, indeed, as you said, some of these symbols, some of them artifacts of the Confederacy that people are rounding about in the name of personal freedom and liberty and states' rights, as opposed to things that Americans care about in terms of their pocketbook, their bottom line, as Mike said, those household staples that they really need. But that is what is driving the party right now. It's not about economic issues. It's not about policy. It's about posturing so very often. And I do think, Joe, that we're seeing the Democrats struggle with this right now, too, where they have right now in Washington a great debate over this reconciliation package. The individual components are all very popular. Paid family leave, child care. But that's not what they're able to message about. It's about money. It's about the sausage making. And now, in the closing days of this Virginia governor's race, it's so striking to me that President Biden, who was so reluctant to use his predecessor's name, made his closing argument all about Trump. That Trump is the animating figure here, that they're having trouble getting Democrats to the polls in support of their policies, but rather to come out against the shadow of the former president, one who people believe will perhaps run again, Joe. That's the driving force here. Even though Trump's name is not on the ballot, Democrats are trying to put it there because that is their best chance.